to facilitate projects of any size. For further information, please contact genisteel.com.au or contact the company on 03 9465 1287.
MS Designer Living specialise in architectural design and construction of new homes, unit developments, extensions, renovations and commercial buildings. They are located at 14 to 19 Enterprise Drive, Bundoora, and can be contacted on 03 9467 6954. MS Designer Living.
Preston, near post City! It's in! And again, Warren Spink has a hand in it. Andrew Zinni scores the goal. Not only are the fans winning on the terraces, the team are winning on the pitch. 2 goals in 2 minutes. 2-1 up, Preston Macedonia, and we've got an invasion on.
Crossfield ball for Zaneski to try the spectacular. It's brilliant, is it over the line? Yes! What's a goal from Alex Zaneski?
Kukulevski, it's good. It's the winner. What a great goal by Kukulevski. The crowd has gone wild, ladies and gentlemen. The Preston Lions are the Premiership champions.
Cross ball at the back post. There it is. And is that the goal that takes them up?
Through ball for Spink. He's in the box. Back for Cole. Cole square. Here's a chance for Smith. Smith, yes, it's there. Spink, Cole, Smith doing the damage. 1-0.
Hello and welcome to the BT Connor Reserve Genisteel Stadium Pavilion for another edition of the Lions Den. Apologies for my absence last week, but the show is back. I am here with Aisen Ishak on the official Preston Lions Club show, coming to you live on the Facebook page and across the FNR Football Nation radio platforms. First of all, a massive thank you to everybody who came out to Crown Palladium on Saturday night for our 75th anniversary gala. An absolutely sensational evening was had by all. Tell us in the comments what your thoughts were about the night, the special guests we had, the festivities. It was a fantastic night, fantastic celebration of our club's history, our pioneers, and our future. And we'll continue to roll out some of the interviews that we did on the night and some of our pioneers' interviews across the next number of weeks. Aisen Ishak is my guest, making his Lions Den debut. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me on tonight's show.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to have you, mate. I'll just bump you up there. Softly spoken, but it goes in with hard tackles when it's required, don't you?
Yeah, of course. That's what's required as a defender, so yeah.
Well, let's start by talking about the game on Friday. You weren't participating. You've suspended.
No,
5 accumulated yellow cards.
Yeah,
I think a few of the boys have done the rotation in that regard in the last few weeks. But down in Geelong, it was a tough night.
Yeah, look, the conditions weren't the best for what we're usually used to playing over here at home. But I'm sure, as the boys said, post-match interviews with you, it's always tough to get a result on pitches like that. But look, at the end of the day, we got 3 points, and that's what we needed.
Do you like muddy conditions like that when you can get a bit of a slide tackle going and it's a bit rough and tumble?
Look, for a defender, it's not really the best because if you do stuff up, you got nothing behind you that can save you besides the keeper. So you got to always be on your toes and always making sure what you're doing and being just always one step ahead of your opponent, making sure you don't slip up because conditions like that, it can really cost you a game vital 3 points, and it can set the tone for the league where you position yourself on the ladder. So yeah.
Well, Geelong had climbed to 5th on the table for that game, so it was a really important match to create some separation there. With the 3 points, jumped to 2nd in the table, leapfrogging Western United and Melbourne Victory. It's pretty tight at the top, though. Yeah,
I think there's probably 1 or 2 points between each team in the top 4. But it's a tough top 4, and we're hopefully aiming for the top spot and hopefully getting the win this year. Winning the league.
Absolutely. Well, let's it's your first time on the show, so
Yeah.
let's rewind and let's take us through your football journey. When did it all start for you? Where did you start playing?
So I started playing soccer when I was 8 years old at Morn Zebras. Back then they were called Little C Zebras, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think they just changed their name again.
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
they?
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Brunswick Zebras. Just the last couple of weeks, they've gone back to Brunswick Juventus.
Yeah, I think that's what they're called now. But yeah, I started off as a junior there and made my way up to about I think like under 14s, and then went through the state programs, played with the state teams, and then the year I went with the state team with FFVs under 14s to the national championships in Coffs Harbour, I got offered a contract at Melbourne City for a year, and that was back then. They didn't have the youth. They didn't have any of the under 18 squads or the 16 squads for the youth academies, so we were just training. They offered us a 1-year contract to be training full time with the academy. You know, understanding how it works of becoming a professional footballer. Being in a professional environment, and then
So there, were you playing with a lot older
and we had
kids?
we were playing. No, the boys were all similar age,
Yeah.
but we just didn't have a league to play in. We were playing friendly matches against clubs like MPL teams for that year. So we didn't really play in a league that year.
Wow.
So, yeah, until they obviously introduced the youth academies a couple of years after.
The ones that we've become intimately familiar with this
Yeah,
season.
yeah,
in the title
exactly.
race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and then a year after there, I actually ended up being released from City. And at that time, I was 15 years old. So first time being released from a professional academy, Melbourne City. It quite hit me hard a bit because I was young, but I feel like at the same time it matured me at a younger age. So like if it did ever happen again when I was older, I'd know how to cope with it.
Sure.
So when I did first, I was with my dad. Went in the meeting room with the coaches, and they spoke and they said, unfortunately, I won't be wanted here for next season. It was the first time for me, and as a young kid, you think that's what you dream to do, become a professional footballer. And at that age, 15 years old, you think this early, I'm getting released by a professional club. You'd think
It's over.
it's over, yeah. But it's basically over because at such a young age. So it really made me it made me more hungry to do better at a younger age. So then ended up getting released from there and moved to Pascoe Vale. I had a mate playing there when he was 19 or 18, and I was still 15 at this time. So I spoke to the 20s coach. I wanted to play 20s football. I didn't want to go back to my age. Spoke to the coach. He told me come down, train that week. Trained that week, and he's like, look, we got a game Friday night. Come down, see how you go, and then we'll see we'll go on from there. So went trained Monday, Wednesday trained, and had Friday game. I was playing fullback back then, so I was a left back then. I ended up scoring 2 goals with them as a 15-year-old. Yeah,
Decent
with their
first
20s.
impression.
Yeah, first. And they were very happy with me. So they said, yeah, look, we're pleased with what we've seen, and we want to sign you for look, we'll have you here at the club for the next season. So my first season at Paco's 20s, I was 15. Ended up having 6 goals to my name, assists, a couple of assists.
Decent work for a left back.
Played every game in the season. Ended up winning the league with them, and then got best and fairest. Won best and fairest. And then the year after, 17 years old.
Yeah.
Started playing with the seniors. Actually, not playing. I was just on the bench. Coming through the ranks through. As a young player, I was 17 years old. Making minutes in preseason, and then making a couple of bench appearances during the season, and then.
What was the squad like at that time at Paco? Was that the Davey Van Skip?
Yeah,
era?
that's the era. Yeah, Davey Van Skip. We had Michael Ferrante. Joseph Youssef was still playing.
Yeah.
I think he retired this year.
Yeah, just a couple of months ago, I think.
We had him. We had V Vitali as our coach, Michael's brother.
Yep.
Who else did we have?
'Cause that was a really strong.
Yeah,
era
we
at
had a
Paco.
really good. The year before that, they actually made the finals. The top 6. Yeah,
Yeah.
they made the finals. So we had a really decent squad. But that year, the same squad didn't perform how it would usually perform, and unfortunately things didn't go as to plan how they would, and players started leaving, and results weren't coming in, so players decided to leave, and I actually ended up getting my opportunity to start. I think it was my starting debut. No, actually, I made my debut against who was it? I made my debut. I think it was South Melbourne. Came on for 3 minutes. Yeah, made my debut, and then the week after that, made my starting debut against Dandenong Thunder, and then from then on just started playing every season. Finished the season off starting every game. 17 years old with the seniors at Packer, and then towards the end of the season, we actually had Victory Scouts coming to watch a couple of games. I didn't know they were watching me play. Yeah, I had Victory Scouts coming to watch us play there, and then ended up getting an email and offered nearly a month and a half trial at Victory for the MYL squad. Had so trialed there for a month and a bit. Done well,
Sure.
Impressed. Yeah, impressed. Yeah, done well. Impressed. During my trialing period with them, and they offered me a position at the MYL squad for the 2020 season. So finished from Paco, and then we had like a break. When you finish from the NPL season, you have a break, a month or two break, and then you start your preseason. Yeah, during my during my break, I was doing a bit of, how you do your own work on your own. You go to the field, local
not
park.
everyone does, but
yeah,
clearly
but
you do.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's on you. I was doing a bit of work on my own. Just staying fit, just making sure I was sharp and ready to go when preseason started. I think it was the week before I started. I was going to start preseason. I actually ended up straining my hamstring before joining Victory, and that set me back like three months out during their preseason for MYL. And then so I done my hamstring. As I finished my rehab, started to come back into training. Done it again, so I done it for the second time. And then COVID hit. That's when COVID hit. And then that was our first ever lockdown we had, so the whole season was cancelled, and actually came in favour for me because it helped with my hamstring. It was a bit of time off, helped me re-strengthen my muscles. So it helped a bit, and then came back the year after, and then had started playing MPL 3 against you guys. That's when I first heard of the club and met the club. Seeing what it was like. Started last year, last year we had I had my first season with Victory's under 23s. Yes, and when I joined Victory, I didn't. I was, as I told you before, I was a left back. I started playing centre back at Victory. That's where more transition happened. I started playing centre back, and I started enjoying it. So throughout the season last year, I started playing centre back more, and I didn't mind it. It was less tiring of a job. You're not always up and down, running, overlapping. So played centre back, and then ended up getting the opportunity. That's when Papa came in with the first team, and then ended up getting the opportunity at the end of the season because they cancelled the season last year. I'm pretty sure it was it was cancelled like halfway through the season. So
sort of,
and that's
75%.
75%, and then it was over. So and then that's when pre-season started with the first team. So I was one of the few boys that were lucky enough to get the chance to train with the first team and do pre-season with them. So had my first team first ever time training with first team. Had my pre-season with them for like 6-7 months with Papa. And then
what's a Tony Popovich preseason like?
Words can't describe what kind of preseason I had. That was my first ever preseason.
I mean, those are infamous even among the seasoned pros in the A-League.
Yeah. Look, Papa's training sessions were really tough. We'd have tough sessions, running during sessions, and then running after sessions, and then gym after sessions, cardio sessions, and just so much
relentless.
To do. Non-stop work, and I guess that's what shows that like what type of squad he's got is because of how much work he put into pre-season and how much he's passionate about making sure his players always perform at their best level. So
out of that Victory first team squad that you were doing that tough pre-season with, who really stood out to you as an example to learn from out of that team? Is there anyone who made a big impression on you?
For me as a centre back, Spranovic, he was one of the ones that stood out for me, and I tried to learn off a lot. He has a lot of great qualities as a player.
So he already looked good in pre-season after he's come back from, 2 years
I think
out of the game.
2 year,
no one knew where he was, hanging out in the Dalmatian coast. Comes straight back in. And he's killing it.
He's killing it. But it goes to show like what a good player he was. It's 2 years out and comes back and he's still performing at top level. So
What stands out to you in that setting about a defender like him, who's obviously played for the Socceroos and so forth?
Like his personality as well. Like even in training sessions, when obviously us young boys always tend to stuff up. We're not always going to be having our best sessions. During our sessions where we weren't at our best, he'd help us out, explaining to us, this is what's right, this is what's wrong, how I can improve, do this next time, and just those sorts of stuff that help you out during training sessions and not let you lose your confidence. That stood out a lot, and also just seeing him as the way he plays as a defender, very calm on the ball and very strong as well. Like I like to be very aggressive in my defense, like in my defensive tackles and just making sure, just being very aggressive, and I could see that he was a very aggressive defender and made sure, he let his opponent know that he was there and, you're not going to get past me. So I like to look up to that and, showcase it on the field. So, that's what stood out with him during preseason. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We not finished, sorry, more towards the end of the preseason. We had the FA Cup coming up. Yeah. I had my first opportunity to fly out with the squad to Adelaide. We were playing Perth Glory. I was on the bench. Didn't come on though.
Oh, the infamous Perth Glory game that never happened for months and months, and they were trying to find.
Yeah, exactly.
Venue 'cause you
Yeah.
couldn't get into WA.
No, we couldn't. Yeah. So they actually ended up playing in Adelaide. We
Yeah.
both met in Adelaide and played the game there. Yeah, we ended up winning on. I think it was penalties. I'm pretty sure we won on penalty. I can't quite
Was
remember.
that the game that Jared Tyson missed a penalty and saved a couple?
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah. So
Goalkeeper taking spot kicks.
he looked quite confident when he went for it. So I thought he was going to score it, but
He smashed it 5 metres wide and then redeemed himself.
Yeah, but redeemed himself after saved the pen and won us through to the next round. Yeah, made it through to the next round against Adelaide City. So they're like probably I'd say biggest club in Adelaide.
One of the best
one of
teams.
the
I think
best
they were the
teams,
reigning champions in NPL
Last season.
South Australia last year. I want to say,
Yeah.
They're up there anyway.
Yeah. They're a well-known club in Adelaide. So we had them next round. I think it was round of 16. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we had round of 32. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, it was one of those rounds. We had them in Adelaide.
I think it was round of 32.
Round of 32. Yeah.
Weird play-in game.
Yeah. So we had them for round of 32. Got selected again in the squad. Flew out to Adelaide again, second time. This time actually ended up jumping on the last 15 minutes, and we actually scored in the last 2 minutes. We scored and ended up winning that game as well. And then the week after, we got drawn to, I can't remember if it was Gold Coast Knights. I'm not quite the Croatian club.
Yep,
Was it Gold Coast Knights?
yeah.
We drew to Gold Coast Knights away in Gold Coast. The week after Adelaide City's game, we flew out to Gold Coast Knights game in Queensland, and I actually started that game as a fullback.
Right.
Yeah, this time. So I hadn't played fullback in a while, So it was a bit, I was a bit iffy with a few things, but as the game went on, just came back naturally. All the natural things as I'd do as a left back just came back into play and just finished the game off.
Did that go to extra time, that game? I think it was
no. We
dramatic.
actually, I think we scored in the last dying 5 minutes.
It was Will Wilson.
Will
Will
Wilson scored that.
That's
Cracker outside the box. Yeah,
it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Watching so many of those games in the Victory Cup run.
We finished that game 2-1, and then after that, came back and I actually ended up getting called up for my national team, for Iraq.
Wow.
So in February, I think it was January. I can't remember. January or February, I flew out to Turkey in Antalya.
How does that contact even happen? Did you know you were on the radar of the?
Yeah, I
national
did
team?
actually. Yeah, I had my agent. He told me the national team's after you. Would you be interested in flying over and going to one of the training camps in Turkey? And I seen this opportunity won't come again, so it's a no-brainer. Obviously, in Antalya as well, Turkey. You're flying overseas across the world to play. What else do you want? So took the opportunity in February to go out in a training camp with Iraq. I actually ended up getting stuck in the airport there in Istanbul.
No.
Yeah, because of how heavy it was snowing there. It was I think it was the worst snowstorm they'd had in 10 years apparently. Yeah, we landed in Istanbul and the snow it was about a meter high. Yeah, so the airport was closed down. There was no flights coming in or out of Istanbul, and we had to actually sleep in the airport for 2 days until I could actually get out. Yeah, so
2 days.
Yeah,
That's
2 days in
brutal.
the airport. Yeah, sleeping on the floor was very bad. Yeah, and then ended up being able to leave the airport and actually get a hotel, because actually I wasn't staying in Istanbul. The camp was in Antalya. It's a different. It's like the Gold Coast for Turkey. It's a very nice place to go to. Yeah.
When it's not snowing.
When it's not snowing, of course. Yeah. Even actually during the snow. No, over there it wasn't snowing. It was just raining.
Right.
A lot of rain and cold. Yeah. But even during the winter, it was still nice. It wasn't bad, you know. So yeah. Ended up getting a hotel in Istanbul, and then after a couple of days, waited for the snow to fall down and runway to clear up. I flew out to Antalya and joined the team there. And yeah, we played a couple of games against second. We had the game against a second division Turkish team, a Kazakhstan team, and then there was an academy from Turkey. So yeah, it was a real good experience. You know, seeing like the type of football they play and comparing it to our football back here, and seeing, you know, just learning from them as well, and just sharing what differences there is from football over here and football over there, and just, yeah, it was a really good experience. So yeah.
Do you speak the language?
Assyrian?
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm Iraqi, so I'm Assyrian. Yeah, we have our I speak Assyrian at home. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I have a
there's
second
no
language.
communication issues.
But
so-
they speak. See that the Iraqi national team is not Assyrian. They're Muslim Iraqis, so they
Okay.
all speak Arabic.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't understand.
You didn't understand
Communication
anything.
wasn't. There was a big language barrier. Yeah, it was a bit hard understanding drills and stuff and communicating with players and coaches. But there was always there's one or two players that could understand, or coaches that could understand English. So yeah, it was all right. Yeah.
So what were the differences playing, you know, in an international training camp? Like in the differences in football you talked about.
As in football, like
Difference in technical
level.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the level here compared to over there was not too much of a big difference. I feel like it was just more intensity-wise was the difference. The level of our technical ability over here compared to theirs was not too much of a difference. It was the same. Like I coped with it well. It was more our intensity at training. You know,
Yeah,
just
sure.
going through it. Yeah, that was more of what I saw as it was a bigger difference. Yeah.
So do you have any plans to continue that international journey? Have they shown
I'm
you
not
more
quite
interest in
sure.
you?
Not at the
You're just
moment.
waiting for a
yeah,
call-up?
yeah, just waiting for the next call up. Yeah, just going with one step at a time, basically. Yeah,
100%.
see how it goes. Yeah.
Well, I want to rewind because
Yeah.
you mentioned the first time that you encountered Preston back in 2021.
Yes, that was my first time hearing of Preston.
Played victory twice, two very intense games. I remember both of them very well.
Yeah.
One of them being Karl Berishevic's
Long
wonder
shot,
volley.
Yeah, the volley. Yeah.
So you played in both games?
Yeah, I played in both games. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I remember our first game. You know, all the boys victory. You know, we were all talking about it. You know, hearing that there's going to be a possible 3,000-4,000 people attending the game. You know, that's the first time I've ever played in front of a crowd like that. So like, hearing that sort of stuff during the week, that you're playing in front of a crowd like that, just G's you up to look forward to games. And yeah, that's when I first heard of Preston Lions. Friday night over here, of course. Yeah, it was unreal. You know, playing in front of fans like that. It's just you won't get that opportunity at this level, especially in MPL 3. I don't think you will ever see a fan base like that playing.
I mean,
in front
MPL
of,
3, you better see it in MPL 1.
Yeah, MPL 1, probably not even MPL 1, I think. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the fans here are unbelievable. It's something that I feel like we're privileged to have. Like, not every club has this type of fan base. So yeah, seeing that was my first time when we versed Preston Lions and heard about the club and seeing what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us a story about how you ended up here this season.
Yeah, so we commenced this season back in, was it March? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I wasn't getting much game time. It wasn't working out for me. You know, I was 20 years old and I was you know, when you're in that that type of environment where you've been in that environment too much and you think it's time for a change. You know, you need something different. You weren't enjoying it too much. It was coming towards that type of feeling. And you know, I spoke to my agent, and when I heard the opportunity to come here was available, you know, what else? Like, it was a no-brainer. I was just straight away told him, like, yeah, you know what, I'm happy to take it. And yeah, that's when I made my decision. And yeah, when I made my decision, ended up leaving, and then that week after we ended up playing Victory. So yeah, it was a bit of a funny one.
So
Yeah.
your decision to come here specifically, were you thinking back to last year's game and playing in front of those sorts of crowds? Was that a
Yeah,
big motivating factor?
those moments help make my decision. Knowing what the club is about, their fan base, their facilities, the people, everything about it. Yeah, those factors helped out making my decision in joining the club. Yeah.
So we all know the story, I think, by now. But your first game against your old team that week,
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been a very, very interesting time in the group chats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like the boys were messaging saying like, "Ace, like, what's the go? You leaving, or like where you moving to?" And I just kept it quiet. I didn't want to say anything. I just left it till the night. And then one of my mates ended up finding out. I don't know how. And then he messaged me and called me. He's like, "Yo, you playing this Friday night?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I am." And then I seen the boys here Friday night. But it was like nothing changed. Still the same friendship with all of them. No hate between each other or anything. So yeah, it was. We've got all healthy relationships between each other. So it was good. Yeah.
Were there any mixed feelings for you though? Weird lining up against.
Yeah,
your
it was
first
just
game?
weird. Yeah. All of a sudden the week after, 1 week I'm training with my team, and then like Melbourne Victory, and then the week after you're playing up against them with Preston Lions. It was just a bit of mixed emotions. Being like stood out against them. You've seen 11 players that I was playing with them last week, and now you're up against them. So yeah.
Well, at least you knew exactly what you were up against.
Yeah,
You had the inside word on all their attackers and so forth that you
Yeah,
trained
knew
against.
everything. Yeah, so it helped out a bit for our team.
How was it to settle in, midway or partway through the season? Obviously, you're able to sign outside of that transfer window because you were
I was under
21.
20. Yeah.
But how was it settling in so quickly when the season's already in the swing of things?
I actually settled in quite quickly at the club. The boys were very, very welcoming. My first week, I didn't know much of the boys. I knew Josh because he was at Victory before as well. Yeah, so he was the only one of the boys I knew here. But the boys are a great bunch of lads. First training session, I was speaking to all of them just about soccer and how Victory was, and they were just cracking jokes with me, having laughs with me. And as weeks went on, I actually started to see myself settling in more with the team and also just with the fans as well. My first game here, I remember I was coming out the change rooms and they came up to me and all gave me hugs and were telling me like what a game I had, and then they walked me into the in the club rooms and had dinner with each other. So yeah, I've found it real good settling into the club.
And this title run-in that we've got, it's so tight, as we covered earlier. You're going to be coming up against Victory again. City, we've got to play again. Western United. Some big games coming up. How's the mood in the group been in training this week? Because, a couple of wins strung together in a row, it's starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, we had a bit of, as everyone knows, our games against Ballarat and Box Hill, we should have won both games. Those games, they cost you titles in the league. And after those two games, we had a big chat with the team and Lou and everyone. We all spoke about like what we needed to change and what needed to be done. And I think that chat in the change room showed, that what we were capable of. It woke up everyone and just made us more hungry. And we came to realization that we could actually do way better than what we actually done in those two previous games. So, yeah, the past three couple of games has shown that what we're capable of, and hopefully can finish off the season playing like that, especially against, like we got in the next couple of weeks, we're playing against Melbourne Victory, City and Western, and they're all in the top four with us. So we need to get the 3 points against all those teams. And if we do, hopefully it sees us finishing off the season with a championship. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, Doveton tomorrow night here at Janice Steele Stadium. Have you faced them already this season? Because I don't think you're in the
No,
team
I wasn't
yet.
here when
But
we faced them.
did you face them
Yeah, I
with
faced
Victory?
them. Yeah, I faced them last year. with
Physical
Victory.
side?
Very physical side. Yeah. Doveton's. I only played them once. We actually drew. No, we lost to them 2-1. Yeah, they're a big team. Their pitch wasn't the best when we played there, so they were more of a direct team. Long ball. Yeah, but they do put up a real good fight in the game. It's not a game where you just come and think, we're going to beat you and
There's a
take
lot
the
of
3
experienced
points. Yeah,
players
they've
on
got.
that team as well.
I'm not quite sure who they've got. I don't know who they've got in their team, but I know that they won't come on the park and be like, "Yeah, here's your 3 points. Good night. See you later." No, they'll come and make sure they'll if they can upset us. So yeah, I'll be aware of that tomorrow night.
Well, a bit of a point to prove for the other lads, of
Yeah.
course, because dropping points against them away last time. But on this pitch, got the
Right,
upper hand.
yeah. I don't think they've ever played on this pitch, so it'll be an advantage for us, especially because we're the home team. We've train and play on this pitch every week. Yeah, every second week. So yeah, it'll be good for us tomorrow night to show what we're capable of on this pitch against a team that hasn't played on this pitch, and hopefully get the 3 points.
Well, we can't wait to see you all down here tomorrow night for our game against Doveton. 6:15 kickoff for the ressies, 8:30 p.m. for the main event. Aisen Ishak, good luck tomorrow night. Welcome to Preston, mate.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
We're going to go to a short break. We've got Lexi Anastassiou joining us on the other side. So stick around here on the Lions Den.
Electrical Connectivity Australia is a leader in the electrical industry and specialises in matters of a domestic, commercial and industrial nature. Please contact Igor Georgievsky for any of your electrical needs on 03 9333 0433 or visit www.ecapl.com.
Genis Steel offer full-service structural steel to leading industrial and residential builders across all metropolitan Melbourne and regional areas of Victoria. At Genis Steel, we take pride in our product, service and reputation. With over 40 years industry experience, Genis Steel manages all aspects of steel fabrication, from on-site measuring, in-house drafting, fabrication, through to full site installation. We work closely with our customers to deliver innovative solutions to facilitate projects of any size. For further information, please contact genissteel.com.au or contact the company on 03 9465 1287.
MS Designer Living specialise in architectural design and construction of new homes, unit developments, extensions, renovations and commercial buildings. They are located at 14 to 19 Enterprise Drive, Bundoora, and can be contacted on 03 9467 6954. MS Designer Living.
You're listening to The Lions Den on FNR Football Nation Radio.
Welcome back to the Lions Den here from the Genis Steel Stadium Pavilion. I'm Josh Parrish and I'm delighted to be joined for the first time, our second debutant of the evening, Lexi Anastassiou. Welcome to Preston and welcome to the Lions Den.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
No, it's so good to have you on because the women's team are in tip-top form at the moment.
We
7-0 win, was it, last Friday?
It was. It was a great win.
So tell us all about it, first of all, because there's a lot of goals to recap. Did you have a favourite from the night?
Yeah, actually, Kaywa's absolute banger from outside the box. I don't know if you saw it. I was actually right behind her when she hit it. It was a knuckleball for sure, top right-hand corner. As soon as she hit the ball, you knew it was in.
Everyone was already celebrating.
Yeah, but that's Kaywa, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would have been my favourite. But otherwise, the rest of the goals, I mean, it's becoming sort of a routine for us, hitting that sort of number. But it's too much to recap.
Well,
it's too much to recap.
It doesn't get old.
No,
scoring
it
that many
doesn't.
goals in a week, does
It definitely doesn't. We're definitely an entertaining team to watch when you're putting that many goals in the back of the net. Yeah, we just want to keep them coming.
Must be a fun team to play in as well for you, a creative midfield player like yourself.
It definitely is. There's not a time in the game where you look up and you've got sort of no one to give it to. We've got some really talented players up forward and they know exactly what they're doing. And the girls in midfield as well, you've got Miri who really likes to push forward and she knows exactly what runs to make and when to make them. So it's almost like playing with four up front all the time.
Well, I mean, it's been very entertaining watching you like this season. Were you there on the gala on Saturday night? There was
No,
a
I
big
wasn't.
contingent.
No, I missed out.
Fantastic turnout from both senior teams, I have to say. So well done to all those players who, they came out, got their table. No freebies, by the way. I think everyone assumes that the players get to go to these things for free. Absolutely
No.
not. $220 a ticket. Thank you very much.
That's correct.
That's everyone chips in around here, which is absolutely fantastic. So let's talk about your journey and what led you to Preston. We can rewind all the way back to your NTC days if you like. Having heard from Ace.
Well, yeah, as Ace touched on, I was part of the NTC program for a couple years. Before that, I did majority of my time at Nunawading. I was playing with the boys and then moved to NTC, and that's sort of where everything for me kicked off. Went and played nationals in Coffs Harbour and then ended up getting called up to the Young Matildas. And as a young player, that was pretty
special?
incredible for me. And I was also one of the younger ones in an older team, so it was a bit surreal. I didn't actually sort of think it was happening. And
All right, drop a few names. Go on.
there's a few actually. One that probably stands out that most people know. Ali Carpenter's killing it at the moment, and she's just doing wonderful things. And she was, even back then,
You could tell.
You could tell. The coaches could tell that she was going to make it. So she's done really well. But yeah, after that, sort of came back, ended up playing a bit of senior football at some different clubs, South Melbourne, Bulleen, and South Melbourne, sort of where I met Daniel.
Yep.
Ended up with a really bad injury in 2017. Sort of got back into it 2018, and then finished up. And kept in touch with Daniel here and there, and then he kept trying to get me back into it, and I just wasn't ready. And then he messaged me last season, said still not ready. Kept in touch, and then early this season, I actually came to the club. He said, "Let's meet here, have a chat, see how we go." Anyway, came to the club, saw what they'd done here, everything that they'd developed. Said, okay, I'll come to one training session. And one training session, I never looked back. And that was it.
So how many years were you out of the game?
Were
you playing socially at all? Or
nothing.
Just nothing?
Not even touching
Cold
a ball.
turkey.
Cold turkey. Maybe a kick here and there. Like, nothing really. I was doing a little bit of coaching.
Right.
I got into a lot of one-on-one coaching, and I coached a boys under 14s team, just a community team for 1 year, but playing nothing. So it would have been 3 years, I think.
3 years.
3 years, and then back here and back into it.
It's been about 3 years for me as well. Giving me hope.
Yeah. No, there's always hope. There's always hope.
So how was it, your first training sessions after 3 years out of football?
It was really good. It
Yeah?
was really, really enjoyable. The girls were really welcoming and at a good standard. That's probably...
Because if it was me, I would have been breathing out of my ears after about 5 minutes.
Well, you know what? Luckily for me, I'd sort of taken up running.
Oh, okay. That's just
so
as well.
I came back, and if you ask Daniel, he's going to laugh. I was never a fit player, ever. And I'd come the start of the season after doing pre-season, and I was doing 10K runs. So the first time in my life, I said to him, I'm actually fit. And he said, I don't believe you. Anyway, after the first training session, he goes, okay, this is different. We're not used to having you fit. And I said, yeah, I know. But anyway, we'll take it.
No longer a luxury kind of number 10? Just
No, now I'm box to box, unfortunately. No, it's good. I do enjoy it. I do like being all over the pitch. But yeah, if you would have asked him how I was 4 years ago, we would not be saying the same thing.
So tell us a little bit about your NPLW days across various clubs. So you're at some good programs.
Yeah, so I was at South Melbourne when we were originally State 1, and I was with them the year we won the league for the promotion.
Right, yeah.
That was a pretty big year. I also played a season at Bulleen, and I was always one of the younger players, so always learning off a lot of the older players. It was really good. I mean, if I give any advice to young players, it's always to go somewhere where you're playing with players that are either one, better than you, or two, older than you, because it means you're always going to be learning something and progressing. So both of those clubs were really great for me, and South Melbourne Daniel was at the club at the time. I also did a little bit at Heidelberg. They were also a fantastic club. They're doing really well now, actually.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Every club you get something really different out of. Just like when we play the teams that we play, you know, which teams are going to be the hard teams, which teams are going to actually try and play football. So for me as a player, going between the clubs, you were sort of forced to bring out a little bit of something different depending where you were, which was a good thing. I wasn't always in my comfort zone. But every club is very similar, but I think you do get different variations in coaches that do make that difference and bring out different sides for each team. But yeah.
So it took some convincing for you to get back into it.
Yeah.
You mentioned the charm offensive from Dan.
Yeah.
Was your previous relationship with him from back at South Melbourne a pretty important factor?
100%.
Trusting
100%.
that you had a what was holding you back from coming back playing? Do you think?
Probably it was a lot of things. I think probably love of the game. Before I got injured, I was doing a lot of training, like 6 days a week, 7 days a week, non-stop, and it becomes a lot.
Bit of burnout.
Yeah, and you kind of think, well, why am I playing? Like, why did I originally love it as a kid?
Yeah.
And I think I just needed that time off. And obviously, you have friends doing other things, and you don't experience those things, as everyone says, you know.
No, well, I mean, nobody has a life when they're playing football. Like it's
No,
just
you really don't. You don't.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Your football is your life.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I think it was burnout mostly. And you do get to a certain age where you question, like, can this fit into what I'm doing for work and, you know, family commitments? And there's a lot to juggle. And then at the end of the day, like, I came, spoke to Daniel, really liked the girls and the group of girls, the club, the atmosphere was really, really good. And it made me think, well, if I want to be here, I've got to make it fit in. So that was it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So the rest is history.
Yeah.
And top of the table again now.
Finally.
After that big win
I know.
against Boroondara. Tell me about that game, because that loomed so large for so many weeks as the game that you had to win.
I know. There was a big build-up and there was a lot of good preparation. I mean, every week we prepare really, really well. Daniel has a really good way of preparing for each team that we play in the league. Probably the best coach at analysing teams I've ever seen.
You'd be surprised by how much opposition scouting is going on a week-to-week basis, by the way.
I think he knows every name, everyone's boots, and probably their favourite food.
Yeah.
But no, he really prepares us each week, and every week we focus on what we need to for that particular game on the weekend. And Boroondara was a typical example of that. We knew how they played last time. We knew who was playing, who we had to isolate. And on game day, the girls performed and got the win. And it was not an easy game, but they did exactly what they had to do.
Everything came together.
It really did.
Well, it certainly showed on the scoreboard.
It did, yeah.
So this weekend against Knights.
Yes.
Speaking of specific preparation for fixtures, is there a bit of a point to prove against one of the teams you've dropped points against?
I think there's a big point to prove this weekend. I mean, we drew 2-2 last time. Not a result we were happy with at all. We wanted to come away with a win. So this weekend, we really want to bring home that win. But I think I'm quietly confident that we will. We've been playing some really good football the last couple of weeks. So
well, you did have about 25 shots, or maybe 30 against Knights last time. So
I know we've really got to work on our percentage.
Yeah, maybe. I think it might be the efficiency there.
Yeah.
That's what needs to change this time.
Yeah, I mean, at least we're having shots, hey.
Well, they've got a couple of really key players as well that you got to shut
They
down.
They do. Last time, I think we were quietly impressed with some of the quality they had. We didn't expect that. First game, Daniel didn't have enough time to analyse them, I suppose. But coming into playing them this week, I think we'll be quite prepared.
Well, it's 1 p.m. kickoff at Knights.
Yeah, early.
Early kickoff. So
Early
everyone's
kickoff.
going to have to be on their toes.
Yeah, definitely.
11 a.m. for the ressies. Absolutely brutal.
No, their game actually got cancelled.
No.
So hopefully we'll have a bit of a support crew.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
1 p.m. kickoff on Sunday
Yeah.
at Knight Stadium. It's on the second pitch, I
think
believe.
so. Yeah.
But you'll find it. It's a Knight Stadium. It's not that big. You'll see.
Yeah.
It. So come on down, support our women's team, and try and get them over the line against a team that they're trying to get one over this time around.
Yeah, we are.
It's a big game, and there's a lot on the line with this title race still, but. Playing
It is.
unbelievable football at the moment, scoring goals left, right, and centre. I'm quietly confident as well.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Lexi Anastassiou, thank you so much for jumping on the Lions Den tonight.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
We're going to take one more break. We've got a couple of members of our ressies team joining us on the other side, who unfortunately don't have a game this week. I've just
No,
learned.
they don't. So it's going to have to be gala talk for you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be gala talk.
Yeah.
Taking a break. Back in a couple of minutes.
Electrical Connectivity Australia is a leader in the electrical industry and specialises in matters of a domestic, commercial and industrial nature. Please contact Igor Georgievsky for any of your electrical needs on 03 9333 0433 or visit www.ecapl.com.
Genis Steel offer full-service structural steel to leading industrial and residential builders across all metropolitan Melbourne and regional areas of Victoria. At Genis Steel, we take pride in our product, service and reputation. With over 40 years industry experience, Genis Steel manages all aspects of steel fabrication, from on-site measuring, in-house drafting, fabrication, through to full site installation. We work closely with our customers to deliver innovative solutions to facilitate projects of any size. For further information, please contact genissteel.com.au or contact the company on 03 9465 1287.
MS Designer Living specialise in architectural design and construction of new homes, unit developments, extensions, renovations and commercial buildings. They are located at 14 to 19 Enterprise Drive, Bundoora, and can be contacted on 03 9467 6954. MS Designer Living.
Electrical Connectivity Australia is a leader in the electrical industry and specialises in matters of a domestic, commercial and industrial nature. Please contact Igor Georgievsky for any of your electrical needs on 03 9333 0433 or visit www.ecapl.com.
MS Designer Living specialise in architectural design and construction of new homes, unit developments, extensions, renovations and commercial buildings. They are located at 14 to 19 Enterprise Drive, Bundoora, and can be contacted on 03 9467 6954. MS Designer Living.
You're listening to The Lions Den on FNR Football Nation Radio.
And we're back for the final time this evening here on the Lions Den. I'm Josh Parrish. I've got Talia and Kayla here with me. Sorry I had the name wrong on the run sheet, by the way. It's actually not my fault. I think there might be a certain club president who owes me an apology there. No game this weekend. Shattering. I mean, you get the 3-0 win, don't you?
Yeah, but I think we actually wanted to play and smash them more than the 3-0 so that we could get our goal difference up, because I heard Melbourne Uni beat Eltham or someone last week or the week before 20-0. So we really need to get our goal difference up.
I think there needs to be some sort of like cricket-style Duckworth-Lewis method where they work out how much you would have won by and then, calculate it that way. But unfortunately for Knights, they're struggling for players this time. I think it was similar in the home fixture we had. But outstanding season for the Ressies so far. It must be a lot of fun out there.
It really is. The environment's just really good. And, after every win, we were just even more excited for the next game. So it's really good to, come and be at training and when everyone's, always excited.
Yeah, we've got a great group of girls. The culture's amazing in the change room. After the game, we're always dancing, singing, chanting around. I don't know, if you come to a game, I think our 3-2-1 Preston can be heard from the next suburb across. But no, it's really great to get out there each week.
I remember there were a couple of photos posted after the South Yarra games, and there was a very formal kind of setup for the first team photo, and then the ressies shot was a post-game celebratory selfie, which I think sums up the difference, you know? First team, they do a very professional job of everything, but the ressies are having a lot of fun out there.
Absolutely. A lot of
I
fun.
think Dave just came and he's like, just take a selfie. I'm like, yeah, why not? Like, we were all just excited. I think it was raining at one point as well.
Oh, that was
Like,
horrible that day. It was swirling winds and rain, but no one seemed to mind too much.
Not when you win.
What's the culture like in the group? You know, what's a typical week in the ressies team at Preston like when you're coming into training and so forth? It's a bit of a buzz about the place, it seems.
It's pretty great, actually. Like, we'll all come in, we'll just sit in the change rooms for a half an hour just talking, and then we'll all go on the pitch, and it's good because we sort of train with the seniors sometimes we won't, and it's like we'll get experience from older players, so we'll get, like, they teach us so much. And then we'll go off and we'll do our own thing, and it's like a different, it's like we try and keep the intensity, but then it's like we keep it up, but then it's like we'll also incorporate our own sort of thing into it, which is good because we're also playing a different team at the same time, which it's like we also need to factor that in, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lexi mentioned it before, you know, it's fantastic to play with such a senior group of players that are, most of them have played in that NPL level as well. And for us younger girls, we are relatively younger than them. So we're always learning from them, but we do have a lot of fun as well. Our training sessions most of the time, you know, we're always laughing, but we also know when to switch on as well.
Absolutely. And you've got to, you know, give them a run for their money as well. And because you've got several players who are pushing for spots in the first team every week. So, you know, competition for places is incredible. A few players dropping down as well. How consistent is the team from a week-to-week basis? Does it chop and change a little bit?
It does. Our team is mostly set in stone, although we're fortunate enough for some of the senior girls will drop down most weeks and help us out, which is an amazing booster as well, which is probably why our goal difference is always so high as well. You know, when Sarah Piggott plays, she'll bring it in from the halfway line.
Or Jules.
Yeah.
Jules scores a couple each game. Yeah.
I think she scored 4 2 weeks ago. So, you know, just on fire. But we really get around each other, and we know there's a lot of team chemistry as well, which is good.
Well, speaking of team chemistry, even though there's no game this weekend, I can count on the ressies team to still turn out and support the seniors in their kickoff. I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise, to be honest, because who wants to play an 11 a.m. game on a Sunday?
We sort of looked at that one and we're like, oh, that's pretty early.
In sunshine as well, yeah, all the way in sunshine.
But 1 p.m. against Knights, get down and support everybody. This is the solo fixture on this Sunday. But I actually want to talk about the ball on Saturday night because you were both there. Sensational 75th anniversary ball at Crown Palladium. What was through your eyes? What was the night like? What was the event like?
It was actually really good. It was really big. I didn't expect that many people, and it was just like people everywhere. It's like, oh, hi, like you knew everyone somehow, and yeah, it was really good. Everyone looked absolutely like stunning, and it was a good time.
The room looked amazing. The first thing I noticed was those jerseys hanging from the ceiling, and I just thought, there's a lot of history here. You know, when that ball walked in, I think it's 74 years old, that ball.
Yeah. From our first ever fixture against Sunshine George Cross, or they were Sunshine George Cross at the time, or maybe just George Cross. They're Caroline Springs now. They've changed their name a few times, but against our friends from George Cross, kindly loaned us that ball. I mean, that's a piece of history right in front of your eyes.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know that so much effort went into that. I don't think Dad slept a whole week, so absolutely crashed on Saturday night. But no, it was an amazing event. You know, from the singers at the end, the special guest as well. It was a fantastic night.
I mean, we had live music, we had special guest speakers, we had a painting being done right in front of us, which turned out really well, actually. Speed painting on the night. And I noticed when that auction was won, it's been donated back to the club. So maybe it can be part of our backdrop on the Lions Den one week. We can have a bit of setting of that painting of George McMillan, John Branov, and, of course, the legend Di Fikolovsky. I noticed a big cheer from your table when Di came up to do her little spiel. Absolutely,
she's our girl.
I mean, it must be great to have someone like that to look up to as well. You mentioned senior players that you're playing with and learning from. What's Di like to learn from?
She's like my idol, actually. Like I told her the other day, like when I'm your age, I want to be exactly like you. Like it's so good. She's got so much experience, and like you look at it just in the game, and she's like always knows where she is, what she's doing. Like you'll ask her a question, she's always got the right answer. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I remember my first training session with the senior group. I must have been 15 or 16. I was shaking in my boots. I was so nervous. One of the youngest girls there, and Di just took me under her wing, showed me the ropes, introduced me to the girls, and she really set the tone from the beginning. And it's really important for her. She's our captain, so there's a reason behind that, and she supports the girls and gets around them. And she's our culture. She's the cornerstone of our culture.
Absolutely. I mean, speaking of people who've contributed to this place, I mean, is it both your parents have roles on the committee? Is that right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I imagine you guys are here a lot. I see you helping out in the canteen quite often on match days and so forth as well. So, lives end up revolving around Preston in a way. What's through your eyes, both of you? What goes into it behind the scenes?
A lot,
Yeah.
a lot. I don't think I left here last night till maybe 10:30, 11. Just like after team dinners, like cleaning up and everything. And it's like I can't go home because I don't drive, so I have to wait for mum and dad. And I don't know, like the week, maybe pre-season, before the first game, I don't think we saw our dad stuff that whole week. Maybe.
I barely see my dad anyway, so I come to soccer to see my dad.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he was staying in a hotel this week preparing for the gala, wasn't he?
Yes, well, he obviously went to the Geelong game, and I think he got back at 2, and then he was up at 6 trying to check on the ballroom. So he's everywhere. But no, this club is a big portion of our family and our family life. But we wouldn't change it for the world.
I mean, it does take. I mean, you mentioned the amount of people we saw there. Just the daunting size of the Preston family right there in front of you in the flesh is amazing, because you don't realise, I guess, how many people contribute on a week-to-week basis, whether it's, helping out in the canteen, whether it's taking a training session, whether it's, all these little tasks, no matter the, I guess, responsibility that each person takes on. I mean, it's a huge undertaking to make this place run, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you, I think you asked everyone to stand up. That's helped or something. It's like really eye-opening because like so many people just stood up, and I'm like, wow. Like, you can tell now when everything's done, like, it took a lot of people to get the club where it is. And it's good because you can see the outcome when all the fans come to the games. So, yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah, I think that translates as well to when there's 3,000, 4,000 plus people at a senior men's game. It's our community, right? It's even people outside the Preston family come to watch because they want to see what's going on. We are such a force to be reckoned with, and it translates into everything that we do. Force
to be reckoned with. I like that. I mean, you must be excited about the future of this place as well. Reflecting on Saturday night. I mean, there's so many projects and ideas in the works for the future as well, which can see this club hit greater heights.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much going on. So many people behind the club that are doing those 1% efforts that are contributing to the powerhouse that Preston has been for the last 75 years and will continue to be. So it's really important that everyone does continue to get behind us because there's so many exciting things coming our way.
Well, I especially want to thank two of our legends, club legends, who travelled interstate for the gala on Saturday night, Warren Spink and Phil Trianides. Amazing effort, and they were both fantastic value when they came up on stage as well. All of the sponsors, of course, who've contributed, and people who participated in the auctions and the raffle on the night. There's too many people to name, but special guests from Football Australia that we had down, Will Hastie and Peter Philopoulos, who gave a speech, and we had the video message from James Johnson, CEO of Football Australia as well. And it really goes to show that Preston is acting as a model club now. So we can't wait to see what the future holds. But honouring that 75 years of history was really, really important. So we want to thank everybody who came out to the gala on Saturday night, and everyone who pitches in on a week-to-week basis, the hours behind the scenes that you don't see to make this place tick. I think we'll sign off for the night. Good luck to the ressies for the rest of the season, although you barely need it. Just absolutely smashing it every week. But, it's a really strong group, and it seems like it's a group that are really enjoying themselves and learning every week.
Definitely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolute pleasure. We're going to sign off for tonight. We've got 2 big games coming up this weekend. We've got our senior men playing on Friday night, tomorrow night against Doveton at home. Our senior women at 1 p.m. over at Knight Stadium on Sunday. Make sure you get out and support both teams if you can. And we'll speak to you again on the Lions Den next week.
Preston, near post City. It's in. And again, Warren Spink has a hand in it. Andrew Zinni scores the goal. Not only are the fans winning on the terraces, the team are winning on the pitch. 2 goals in 2 minutes. 2-1 up, Preston Macedonia, and we've got an invasion on.
Crossfield ball for Taneski to try the spectacular. It's brilliant. Is it over the line? Yes. What a goal from Alex Taneski.
It's the winner. What a great goal by Kukulevsky. The crowd has gone wild, ladies and gentlemen. The Preston Lions are the Premiership champions.
Cross ball at the back post. There it is. And is that the goal that takes them up?
Through ball for Spink. He's in the